This video is about run-on sentences. Specifically, we're going to look at what a run-on sentence is, the two types of run-on sentences, and how to fix run-on sentences. Let's begin by defining a run-on sentence. We already know that a sentence is a collection of words that form a complete thought, and that a sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. And let's look at this word run-on. To me, it means that something is running on and on and on. So if I can connect those two ideas, my idea of the definition of run-on and my known definition of sentence, I end up with this definition for run-on sentence. A run-on sentence is a sentence that goes on and on. It is two or more complete sentences joined together without the correct punctuation. So now that we know what a run-on is, let's look at the two types of run-on sentences. The first type is the run-on sentence. These are sentences that are joined without any punctuation. For example, we could have this run-on sentence, I love English, I hate math. These are two complete thoughts here. We have the subject I, the predicate love English, then another subject I, and then a predicate hate math. We would need to put something here in between English and I to correct this. That's the first type of run-on sentence. The second type of run-on sentence is the comma splice. These are two sentences that are joined only by a comma. Using our same example, we would have I love English, comma, I hate math. And this would be a comma splice. Students ask me all the time why a comma can't join two sentences. And I can see why they would ask such a question. You're putting punctuation between your two sentences, so isn't that good enough? But alas, it's not. A comma splice is still wrong. Over my years of teaching, I've had students ask me this question a lot, and the only way I've ever been able to successfully explain to them why a comma can't join two sentences is like this. I apologize because it's going to seem a little bit juvenile, but just humor me because it will help this make sense. Let's imagine that all of the punctuation marks are superheroes. So at the top of your superhero team, you would have those punctuation marks that can end a sentence, a period, a question mark, an exclamation point. These superheroes are the strongest of them all. They can defeat any bad guy. They can even beat up other superheroes. Underneath them, you have superheroes that can join two sentences, like a colon and a semicolon. They're not quite as strong as our sentence ending team, but they're still pretty strong and can take on their fair share of bad guys. Continuing on our hierarchy of strength, we would have the superhero punctuation marks that we see in the middle of sentences, like quotation marks, apostrophes, and dashes. But then way below them is the comma. The comma is just wimpy, and the comma just isn't strong enough to join two sentences together by itself. And that's why comma splices are wrong. And that's why a comma can't join two sentences. So, we know what comma splices and run-ons are, and we know how to find them. So how do we fix them once we've identified them? Well, let's look at a couple ways. You can add a period to where the first sentence ends. Instead of adding a period, you can add a semicolon. Or the third way is to add a connecting word with an appropriate punctuation. Let's take a minute to talk about connecting words. These are words that you can use to combine sentences or ideas, but for the specifics of fixing a run-on or comma splice, these are words that you would put between those two complete thoughts to fix your comma splice or run-on sentence error. There are two different types of connecting words. The first type is coordinating conjunctions. You may remember this term conjunction from a song that you might have been forced to watch in elementary school from Schoolhouse Rock called Conjunction Junction. To help you remember what conjunctions are, here's a sampling of that lovely Conjunction Junction song. Was that at all familiar? If it was, then hopefully that helps you remember what conjunctions are. If it wasn't, then just be lucky you weren't one of the millions of kids who was forced to watch these videos in elementary school. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions. They are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. You can easily remember these by remembering the acronym FANBOYS. F for, A for and, N for nor, and so on. Now, I said that when you were using connecting words to correct run-ons or comma splice errors, that you have to make sure that you're also using the correct punctuation. When you use a coordinating conjunction, you punctuate it like this, comma, then your conjunction, and then you finish your sentence. The other type of connecting word is a conjunctive adverb. Now, there were only 7 coordinating conjunctions, and they're easy to remember. There are so many conjunctive adverbs that I couldn't possibly list them all, but here are some examples. These are words like however, therefore, furthermore, moreover, and similarly. While these words can also be used to connect your run-on sentences or your comma splices, they do require different punctuation. Whereas the conjunction needed just a comma, a conjunctive adverb needs a little bit more punctuation. It needs a semicolon, then your conjunctive adverb followed by a comma, and then the rest of your sentence. Why does this type of connecting word need more punctuation? Well, the answer is simple. You cannot start a sentence with a coordinating conjunction. We don't start sentences by saying and or nor or for. But you can start a sentence with a conjunctive adverb. You could start a sentence with a word like however or therefore. And because of that, what it means is that you're actually making 2 complete sentences when you use one of these words to fix a run-on or a comma splice. As we know, a comma cannot connect 2 sentences by itself, which is why we need the semicolon. So let's go back to our example. We had the run-on, I love English, I hate math. And we had the comma splice, I love English, comma, I hate math. We've now learned that there are 3 different ways to fix a run-on or a comma splice. And because a run-on and a comma splice can be fixed the same way, I'm just going to fix these all at the same time. So one way is to add a period. You would end up with, I love English, period, I hate math, period. Probably the easiest way, but it can leave you with some short sentences. So the second way to fix a run-on or comma splice is to add a semicolon. And you would have, I love English, semicolon, I hate math. Again, this is a complete sentence. The third way is to add a connecting word. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with both a coordinating junction and a conjunctive adverb. Let's do the coordinating conjunction first. I love English, comma, but I hate math. Our coordinating conjunction in here is the word but, and because I need to remember to use appropriate punctuation, I have a comma before it. If I wanted to use a conjunctive adverb, it would look like this. I love English, semicolon, however, comma, I hate math. That's a mouthful. But my conjunctive adverb in here is however, and again, because I need to make sure I'm using appropriate punctuation, I need the semicolon before however and the comma after it. And that is how you can fix run-ons and comma splices.